Hey, different kind of video today. I'm gonna talk about my daily life in Japan. I am a student, but I don't want to talk about that specific part at the moment. I just want to explain what it is like to have a daily life in Japan. Now you have to remember, like for people coming from overseas to Japan, the euro or the dollar is very strong. So you have to keep this in mind before taking whatever I say into account. I've made some notes, the things that stood out to me. Also some of the normal stuff too, of course. Yeah, let's immediately start. Daily expenses. It's actually one of the most important things, like just eating, getting around in Japan. For breakfast and lunch, I eat quite cheap but healthy. As breakfast, for example, I eat almost every day a banana, some yogurt, and two toasts with some jam on it. Every breakfast costs about like 150 yen. I feel like that's pretty much the same as you can get in Europe for like fresh products. For the fruits, there's only bananas that are cheap enough to eat daily. Any other fruit is way too expensive. It's because of the culture that fruits became more of a present than actual fruit. It's something very like known in Japan. Fruits are not eaten daily, like actual fruits. For example, yogurts with that have like strawberry, kiwi taste or something, those are like affordable, but actual like strawberries or kiwis are way more expensive. Then for noon, what I usually eat, I go around three different things: egg fried rice, frozen gyoza with some rice, and instant ramen. Lunch is the only time that I don't eat like very healthy, even though like egg fried rice and frozen gyoza are actually not that bad. Like the instant ramen is obviously not healthy, but again, those are all cheap options where I eat for about €1 to €1.50 for each meal. The most expensive one is like in the evening for dinner, because I eat more meat or I cook something more specific, special. Sometimes I cook European food, spaghetti. Yeah, then like even the pasta is expensive here. It's affordable, but it's expensive. There, I think I vary for about 3 to 400 yen per meal. But the thing is then, because of Japan's culture of like having so much restaurants, like so much things to try out, the problem becomes that you're way more easily going out and eating something outside. I try to keep a budget of like 1,600 each day on food. I would stay around the 1,000 mark if it wasn't for me eating food outside. Sometimes you go something for more expensive, less expensive, and then you combine it with only eating at home, and you vary around the 1,000 to 1,600 yen mark purely on what you eat for food each day. It would come around like 200, 220 euros per month, which is okay, I think. What did I write? Shopping experience. Lol. Yeah, if you've seen my vlogs, my previous vlogs, I love shopping. I especially love like secondhand shops for clothing. Yeah, shopping culture in Japan is so nice. It's so different from Europe. You have so many different areas where you can go for specific things. Like Tokyo is so big that every area has its own specific like shopping culture. If you want to go for, I don't know, music instruments, you go to Ochanomizu. If you want to go for beads, for necklaces, it's very specific, but if you want to go for necklaces, you have like a little center in Asakusa. If you want to go for secondhand shopping, you go to Shimokitazawa, Koenji. If you want to go shop for newer clothes, you go to Harajuku. If you want to have anime figurines, obviously you go to Akihabara, and so on and so on. Like, if you want a specific object, you'll have a specific area you will need to go to find like the best price quality wise, the best products. And that's something I love. But At the same time, every little area, like around every station, you also have everything you need. In the city where I live, for example, I don't want to tell the name, sorry. You have at least one shop that sells beads for necklaces. You have at least one shop for second-hand clothes. You have at least one book off. You have at least one ABC Mart for shoes. I have everything that I need in my little station. Only where I live, there's already like at least seven different malls. Every time I go there, I'm like, I haven't entered this mall yet. And I'm always surprised that I discover new stores, which is like amazing. And that's only the city where I live. So shopping culture, shopping experience in Japan is like super nice. That's my opinion on like the shopping culture in Japan. And I almost guarantee that anyone that has like lived here or at least been a tourist of like at least a few months feels the same way about Japan. Next subject. Making friends in Japan. There's like one big difference and compared to America or Europe. If you're making any Japanese friends, you will have to focus on people who are interested in going outside of Japan or have lived outside of Japan. Because only those people have the mindset to fully accept a stranger. All the rest of Japanese people will, as has been already said 3 million times in other videos, a tatemae. Honne and tatemae. Like, tatemae is what you wear when you're talking to someone, just being friendly, not wanting to hurt their feelings. Honne is their like true self. The only Japanese friends I was able to make is someone who has lived in Japan, and the other has lived in Canada and Australia for a while. Those are my two true Japanese friends. And now we get along super well. I'm able to speak Japanese with them also, like exercise my Japanese a lot, which is nice. But for all the other friends that I've made in Japan, they're like from Europe or from America. You have to accept that fact before like coming. Going onto activities in general, there's way too much to do in Japan. I'm serious, like I'm always doing something. Even if it's only for the city I live in, it's just crazy how much there is to do, from basic activities where you have to pay for it, like karaoke, gaming centers, shopping, because it's also an activity, baseball, which I haven't done yet. All those things, it's just so nice to be able to do that. But outside of that, going to specific areas where they sell specific things have another vibe. Just every area in Tokyo has another vibe, and just going there, walking around there is so much fun. But outside of that, there's also like cultural activities and discovering Japan's nature. Those don't cost anything, and there are so many of them. Like now the Hanabi season is gonna start in Japan, where like everyone is lighting up firework all the time. It's so nice. Just you don't have to pay for those, and you're like discovering a whole new culture. The two main things that I did concerning that is the Sanja Matsuri and going to Takao-san. And those were just so nice. You have to pay for transportation. Once you get there, like whatever culture activity you will do, you will for sure love it, because they do it with like 100% energy. Everyone is jumping, screaming, singing, and that's so nice. It's just also so different. So you don't have to be necessarily paying for activities, even though going to the karaoke is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, I can confirm that. But you don't have to do that to have fun in Japan. There's just so much to do. One last thing to end it with is culture. There is a balance you need to find. Of course, you need to be prepared to change some customs you have. Just to respect where you're living. But on the other hand, you shouldn't disregard your own culture to live here in Japan. They also need to accept that there are other cultures. The economy relies on tourism. So there's like this hypocrisy between we need them and we don't want them here in Japan. But anyways, for tourists, as for persons wanting to live in Japan, you need to find a balance between respecting the Japanese culture and not completely submitting to it. Because you have people crossing the red light. Not everyone respects that. When people go drink out at night, the morning after, there's a whole team always in every major city to go pick up garbage, because Japanese are not that clean also. Not everything like is 100% true, even if they keep like that at the surface and most people are clean and most people don't cross red lights. It is not unusual to see someone do those kind of things. So you shouldn't be too self-conscious about respecting everything. But you get used to it as the longer you live in Japan. In the beginning, I was trying to respecting every rule. I have to respect every rule. Oh no, I'm gonna offend someone. But in the end, you kind of learn to know where the line is. Things you can do, things you cannot do. For example, eating while walking, only tourists do that. I haven't seen any Japanese person eat while walking. That's a rule they all respect. I think I went over every subject that I wanted to talk about. I think I'm gonna end the video here. Again, this is my experience after living 4 months in Japan. I still have a while to go before returning home, and I hope like I will have like new things to talk about in again 4 months or in 6 months. At the moment, this is what I think about Japan. I still love it. It's still one of the best countries. I've always wanted to live here. I'm able to live my dream right now. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vlog. Oh yeah, small intermezzo. I make vlogs, so go watch my other stuff, because that's where I actually show how I'm living here in Japan. If you really want to see how I live, my vlogs are the way to go. Go watch them. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vlog.